Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Karen Kan. I'm the founder of the Academy of Light Medicine and the TOLPAKAN Healing Method. And it is my great pleasure to introduce one of our graduates, a certified TOLPAKAN Healing practitioner, Dana DeAngelis. And I am super excited to have you share your story today and share a little bit about, what's going on in your life and who it is you help. So Dana, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Karen. It's so exciting and wonderful to be here with you today, discussing one of my favorite topics, Topican healing,
Right.
energy healing,
Our favorite topic. Yeah,
our favorite
exactly.
topic.
Well,
Abs-
we've been working with each other for like very closely over 6 months, right? And got to know each other. I thought your story was really fascinating about what your journey was, to get from where you were, what you had to go through, and then decide on the healer path, and now to become a certified practitioner. So maybe you can walk us through that very, very interesting journey.
Sure. So before I discovered energy healing and did, I had a life, I was in book publishing for my career early on. And then for a large corporation, doing the whole 9 to 5 thing and making art and photography books, which was really fun. And I
Hmm.
did children's books for a little while too, producing, production, which was awesome. And then I became a mother and took many, many years off from, the 9 to 5 thing. And although then I switched to a 24/7 job of raising 3 boys, the job that, the everyday, all day job. And, I did a lot of volunteer work with schools and various organizations in my town while bringing up the boys. And I signed up to help out with everything. I was one of those like, oh, never say no, like I will do it, I will do it. And so and it was great fun. I loved it. I mean, I loved every minute of it. But, I think that perhaps along the way, so busy, definitely empathic. I didn't really realize what that was though. So I was an absorber, had no idea that I absorbed everything from everybody. So somewhere along the way, I am so busy worrying about everybody else. Did I worry about me? No, not so much. Taking care of myself and even learning about energy hygiene and even what it is to absorb, right? So I just was I was just busy, but I say having fun, but my I can come later. Well, later came because it kind of hit me. I ended up with a lot of health problems that were
Hmm.
pretty extreme. But I also, while all that was going on, as my boys got older, I also became a preschool teacher, which was super fun too. But the health problems that I developed were like kind of crazy. Like I had breast cancer, a benign brain tumor, and this is fortunately like the breast cancer was a long, long time ago at this point, but a benign brain tumor, which was like, oh great, that was a meningioma, which a lot of people with breast cancer can. It seems to be a common a double thing.
Hmm.
So you find out you have cancer, and then they're like, "Eh, you also have a brain tumor," and you're like, okay. But fortunately for me, that it's in a good spot, and it wasn't that the cancer was obviously at that time much more serious, but that wasn't all. Then I also
And
had,
that's not all.
and that's not all. And don't you think like, okay, that's a lot. Isn't that enough? No, I ended up with a cyst in my skull called a granuloma, which knocked out part of my hearing. So, yeah, and I kept thinking,
That's
okay,
not
I
that common. I mean, I've never seen a
no,
case of that.
no, they're very rare, very rare. So, not only did I have a lot of health things, but I know breast cancer is common, but this isn't common. And also, on top of that, I developed torticollis, which also it's not
I never
extremely rare,
saw a
but it's
case of that either.
yeah, it's not common. So
Mm-mm.
it's like, I had and actually, um, you know, I did definitely when I discovered energy work, I had to clear the everything weird happens to me. If something's,
Good
like
one.
the 1 in a million condition I'm gonna get, right? And that may have been what I felt was happening, but
Mm.
oh. wait, I don't want to live that way. I don't want to call any more of these things in, right? So that was one of the first beliefs that I said, we need to get rid of
Good for
that.
you.
But this torticollis really affected my neck and posture, and it was extremely painful. I had so much pain and dysfunction in my
Can you
life.
can you
So,
describe more of what that is? Because a lot of people don't
yeah,
know what that
so
is.
it's neurological, and it's called otherwise known as cervical dystonia. And you can have it in your hands, your feet, or your neck. And I had it in my neck. And what it did was, it's the brain, neurological, telling the muscles in the back of my neck to spasm. And
Mm.
so, I used to think a muscle spasm is like a painful thing. That part, no, it was just tightening, right? So what my neck would want to do is go like this. And when you're sort of like,
Wow.
when you're like this all day long, your whole back is now holding up your head
Yeah,
because you're off kilter and your
right.
head
You're
is,
not aligned.
you're not aligned and your head is not on straight. And it's like, okay,
Hmm.
ow, ow, ow. So I know it got so bad in the beginning. I was lying down probably 24 hours a day, like just, no, sorry, 20 hours a day, just because being upright was so painful. Like, and I
Mm.
had to kind of walk around like this all day if I wanted to be upright. I know it just, oh, it was pretty awful. So, it was just one thing on top of another. So now what? Right. And
Mm.
I kept thinking, the thing is, so with torticollis, they don't know why really. And there's not, they inject Botox, but even that didn't alleviate my symptoms very much. Maybe,
Mm.
30%. It helped, but my back hurt all the time. Anyway, I was still flat on my back all the time. So, you know, I thought, well, oh, there's no PT, like there's no protocol for this. What do what do I do? Like now what? Because I was in my early 40s, early to mid 40s, and thinking, I said to my husband, like, I can't, I mean, 40 more years of like this, what do I do? I don't know what to do. And
Yeah.
it's like in my head, it's when I found energy healing, I practically, was jumping for joy because I thought, oh my gosh, yes, like this is exactly what I'm looking for. Because there is no answer in the world that I was in about how to fix this, right? So
Mhm.
I did energy healing. I started with the body code. That was the first thing I was exposed to. And I thought, wow, the fact that there's an emotional root, usually mostly at the deep, deep level, emotional roots are for things that are going awry in the body. And yes, toxicity and all that. So it was just brilliant. And I thought, oh my gosh, sign me up. So I started working with body code. And from there, this is now, over 10 years ago. And from there, I have expanded and became a body code practitioner and then expanded the modalities I was doing. And I was all in. And this was helping me so much. And yes, I worked with holistic practitioners for like functional medicine for the physical body because it was so bad. I'm like, give me everything. Like, what can I do?
I'll do
Um,
whatever it takes, it sounds like.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I will say this is quite an amazing piece of this story is that one day I was working on myself and when it was, doing this and so in order to look at my feet at the time, I had to put my hands on my head and like pull my head down and
Oh my
otherwise
God.
it would just, pop right back up. So
Wow.
that's how I was living. And I was sitting on the couch doing a healing on myself, and my chin just like something let go, and my chin just went down. And I literally started crying because
Oh
I
my
couldn't
God.
believe it had been like, I don't know, a long time since I was able to do that. Like, years. And because I didn't discover right energy healing right away, right? So it was like I'd already been suffering for a bit when this came across my
Mm.
awareness, this energy healing. So I just started crying because I thought, wow, I released something and I
Mm.
had this instant feedback from the body of, yep,
Mm. Mm.
that was, wow. And so the rest of the day I was like, look at me, I can look down, I can do this. I was like, I couldn't believe it. So it was really incredible, like that way, unbelievable. So that was quite, talk about
Mm.
feedback from the body. So I needless to say, I was just in for life. Like who else can I help? Because
Aw.
to have a condition that there's not, there's sort of a, well, this is kind of like the rest of your life. And I just thought there's no way
Right.
this could be the rest of my life. There's got to be something. And I found it, and it was just brilliant. Um, so yeah, that was pretty impactful. So that's really why I chose to the healer path. I thought this is it. Like I, need to help others, and so passionate about when people are dealing with some.
Yeah, you had such a profound shift and change and inspired you to like go in that direction. Although, being a preschool teacher sounds amazing.
I,
Um,
it
However,
is.
it sounded like the universe is like, not exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I just knew once I started down this path that, you know, I would I have found this if I hadn't had such a real need? Like there was
Mm,
no wiggling out. I needed to find this and I needed to do
mhm.
it. Right. So I was presented with a challenge and I found an answer, and it's like, okay, like a lightning bolt, this is what I'm going to do. Right. It was a
Wow,
real awakening.
that's
Um,
amazing. So, how did you decide to, first of all, like then do Topican level one and then become a certified practitioner?
yeah. So as I mentioned, I had studied various modalities, and then when I became aware of Tolpakan, um, I it was it was another awakening of consciousness where I thought, wow, 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 because there's so many things that you learn about with Tolpakan that I'd never even heard of, that you say, this is a thing. Like my favorite example of that, like things that I didn't even know were things that you have brought to my awareness, like frequency diverters is just kind of one of my favorites, like having an
And it
outside.
kind of is, isn't it? You
Yeah,
tend to be an expert at finding those.
yeah, yeah, and it's like, oh, yes, like the basics of emotional, things going on, like emotions we've experienced, and that had been my background until I discovered Tulpacan, and then it's like, whoa, okay, so frequency diverter, like we having an outside interference, you know, diverting the positive frequencies, like the person that, oh, I've put so much healing into my body, why is it not clicking, right? And
Mhm.
so realizing that that could be a thing is, and that it can be shifted. And then all of that frequency and vibration and healing, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's from, a physical doctor, functional medicine person, or energetically, it's like, wow, we can change that. And then, get that, like, talk about a giant block. That was just one that I thought, this is
Mm.
amazing, right? So there were so many things, that okay, now we can get rid of that frequency diverter, and also, the way the modalities designed with the guides. I really the three guides, and walking through like all of the steps, and the depth of things that you can find. So once I discovered Tolpacan, it really added exponentially to my healing tool belt. And I was just so all in, right? I get so excited when I find like, but a million years ago with the body code one where it was like, yes, I just knew it, right? And so I found Tolpacan. It was like, oh yes, this is going to up level, game changer, game changer. So I was so excited to use, to learn more and start using it all. And I just knew once I dove into level one that I wanted to be a level two and be certified in using this to help, working with clients, because again, it's just really deeper and more deeper and more, I don't know, more profound, just different levels of things, especially for stubborn problems where, again, like a frequency diverter or whatever the other, there's many other things could be, but it was just this whole like universe of tools that I didn't, I'd never been trained in or exposed to before. And I was so excited. And also the way the program was set up, like I loved the whole way the training was happening. But I just knew instantly this would bring new levels for my clients. And again, because of my path, I want all the tools. I wanted all the tools I could have to help people with stubborn problems where, there's got to be an answer, right? Someone help me find
I
an
love
answer.
that about you. I mean, your pursuit of mastery and just learning whatever it takes to help people. I mean, I just love that about you. Yeah, it's so awesome. Because people desire to know that someone's in their corner, that even with the most difficult, complex things that maybe conventional, medicine just can't really address, then you can go, well, I've been there, some rare stuff too, and we're going to figure this out and just, just keep learning, keep evolving, keep learning. And yeah, great respect for that. So thank you for being you. Mm. Well,
I like to solve problems, and this was a really lovely tool or modality to help solve those problems, and it really, yeah, it's made a big impact in my healing journey and helping others. I mean,
yeah,
fortunately,
of helping others. Do you have any stories to tell us in terms of like Topican stories without obviously saying the person's name, anything to share? That's kind of
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Again, it's it just is. It's amazing. This work is amazing to do. There was, I had a woman who was having really bad hip problems, like very painful. And she was in her late 70s, early 80s, around 80. And, she just said, oh, I had a botched hip replacement years ago, and it's just never been right since. And it's so painful. It's so painful. It's so painful. And so, we uh, got right in and let's look at it and let's, do our thing, do my thing here. And it was so profound. I mean, she had a, a lot of things, a lot of emotional energy, but really, going back and remembering what, okay, what was it? Multiple shock traumas that had landed right in that
Mhm.
hip. And she could recall, like, when we brought stuff up, and be like, okay, this is around age 6. And she would jump in with exactly the story like it was yesterday. She knew exactly, oh, this is what happened. And so, we healed those. And she was just, oh, through the moon. I mean, she said, I feel 45 years younger, 50 years younger. She said, this is just, she went from a 9 to, we did a few sessions. She went from a 9 to a 1 in like over 2 or 3 sessions and then a 0. And she was so grateful.
Oh,
And, and yeah, it was so exciting. And she's like, I thought it was the botched surgery. And I'm like, well, maybe it wasn't botched. I think you just had a lot of energy in there that needed to come out. So I was really grateful for her, to be able to be so much more mobile. And there's another client who had she was having vertigo when we were talking, and she had vertigo and some other issues with slow digestion. And we did a session, and we worked on inflammation and boundaries. And one of the things that came up was a thought form generator of generating a belief of I'm unstable. And
wow. Good for
so
you.
the dizziness, right? Like, okay, I'm unstable. And if you have that program running in the background, okay, I feel dizzy. And so she at the end of the session, she's like, wow, like I don't feel dizzy anymore. And she messaged me about a week later and she said it's gone.
Oh,
Um,
that's amazing.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
it's really, I don't know, the what causes what is quite interesting.
yeah, that
Um,
is so neat. Now I was curious to ask you, like, during the Topican program, did you have like kind of like what's the best part, like, from your point of view? Was it like the doing the volunteer sessions, or was it the training with me, or was it like meeting other people, or
Um, well, yes, all of the above, but to get a little more specific, yeah, I really liked meeting all the other people on the journey with me. The other practitioners were fantastic, and we had a lovely group, and it was really, really great. Everything they brought to the table and their backgrounds was really fun to
Mhm.
get to know them. And and I may have sort of conveyed this, but just really the expansion of consciousness and awareness was again life changing for me. And it helped me really, really feel more connected and solid in my relationship with source, with getting the information, with trusting the information. I definitely work with a lot of clients who say, well, I can muscle test, but I don't trust myself. I don't, and so, the foundation of your program really ensures that you are feeling really solid in that. And my healing has evolved, you know, it's faster, it's more comprehensive since doing level two. So that's a giant positive. I really feel the changes. It's deeper. Yeah, yeah, it's really great. I also, one of the best things is the learning quality questions, techniques that you've
Mhm.
taught. It's really honed my abilities to, confidently really dig into a problem. And when you think, oh, I don't know, this person still has this. What haven't I covered? There's more. There's always more. But, if you're a beginner healer, sometimes, it's a space where getting frustrated, right? Like, I've tried, she's not getting better, or he's not getting better. I don't know what to do. There's always more to do. And you really teach us how, no, never give up, stay curious, and you're going to get it. Like, just, that's been really, really helpful. So, it's hard to name one or two, but I've named
That's
probably more.
Yeah, that's great. I love hearing that. That's awesome. Now, I know this obviously is a big commitment, having gone through the program and having, gone through because you've been certified in other things, previously.
Yeah.
Were there any challenges in level two doing the program for you? And how did you overcome those?
So I think one of the biggest challenges for me was becoming versed or feeling like I was versed in, the abundance of information in the guides. Because so as mentioned, there were so many things that were new to me. And it can feel like, for anybody who's, downloaded the stuff in level one, and you think, oh my goodness, what is all this stuff, right? And the training guides are fantastic, but well, not but and they are fantastic, but you can feel like, I'm never going to get all this, right? It feels like learning a new language.
Hmm. Hmm.
And but that's a good challenge. And, for anyone considering embarking on this journey, don't worry, because you will become versed in it, by practicing it. And level two allows you ample time and experience in practicing it. So it's more of an organic process because of the time of the journey. Yes, it's a big commitment, but because of that big commitment, it's, it's, you just keep doing the steps, and you just, here's what you need to do. Just do A to B to C to D, and you'll get there. So,
Hmm.
I stayed in the flow. And one of the, we have accountability partners. And I think that having that alleviates a lot of the challenges that would present, because anytime, we might feel in between the trainings, like, oh, what's going on? There's so much support, and between the accountability partner and also the mentorship, that it's so helpful. I could listen to the other practitioners as we all train, and a lot of times we had the same questions, right? So, okay, there were so many people to ask, and we all felt nurtured and supported. So, um, it was, yeah, like, just the breadth of information, but that breadth of information will change your life. So you got to stay with it, and just, and don't go into overwhelm. Just ask for help, take a deep breath, and keep going. And it
Wow,
all
yeah, that is great advice. Absolutely. Like, what's the next step, right? Yeah, because yeah, people that can see, feel, hear, and in the big picture, sometimes like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get from A to Z? And you're saying, well, just breathe, A to B, we're good. Just then B to C, we're good, right? Building
yes.
that. Yeah, well done. Well done. Oh, I love that. Well, let's talk a little bit about who it is that you serve. So, how would someone know, like, whether or not they might be a good fit for you in terms of who you are looking to work with primarily?
Yeah, great question. So I work with highly empathic people suffering from health challenges and chronic illnesses, who feel stuck in their healing. So as I talked a little bit, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do, as this was me. And I help them to go from feeling frustrated, depressed, and exasperated to feeling lighter, brighter, more hopeful about their life and their health. And in the work that I do, I'm on a mission to activate their full potential and help them reclaim their health and freedom in the body.
Mm.
That was my journey, freedom in the body versus this, what's my body doing now? Oh no. Now
Right.
what's happened? Really? Now this, now that? Like, how can so many things be wrong? Right. So I've gone from that to freedom in my body. Like, okay, we've overcome it and it's joyous. Right.
Mm.
So that I'm really passionate about helping them bring their light and their gifts to the world, helping clients raise their consciousness and frequency so they can become their own master creators and fulfill their goals and dreams.
Ooh, some more chills. Mm.
Yeah, and on a
Okay.
higher level, if you really like, bring this up, that's really what the evolution of consciousness is all about and what our souls came here to learn and experience on this planet. So we have this life and I like to help people make the best of it.
Mm.
So,
That's beautiful. Thank you,
mm,
thank you, thank you. Well, and
mm.
then as we're closing up, would love to have you share maybe one key piece of advice or counsel, um, something inspirational to help people on their healing journey.
Yeah, yeah. So the first is well, okay, it's two, but the first one's really short and it's part of two. So two things. It's there's always hope. Always, always. Anything can shift no matter how stuck you feel. It's
Mm.
stuckness, right? There's always hope. And I am a living example of that. Because I felt extremely hopeless when I was at the bottom of my, where I was. And the part two of that is, one of the best things about my time teaching young children is they really know how to suspend disbelief and not get bogged down in the negative limiting beliefs that we seem to pick up later in life and later in childhood. Like me, why do the most extreme things always happen to me? Everything weird happens to me, right? So, and other things, I'll never heal, I'm never going to get better. I'm not, but also I'm not good enough. I mean, we can have so many limiting beliefs, but young children really, they trust in the moment and they believe they can, and actually they're so funny. I mean, I primarily work with 4-year-olds and they often emphatically declare that they can. They're
Oh,
like, I'm the best at drawing, I can run as fast as a cheetah, I am so fast and I'm this and I'm that, and they are living it. They're like, yeah.
awesome. I don't think
and
I was ever that kind of kid, but I love it when they're like that.
And it's so cute. I'm a superhero, right? And so they're so creative and that is, and it's like I've really taken that from working with them. It's like, oh yeah, like let's bring that in. Like, okay,
Mm.
talk about affirmations, right? If you put it on an adult level. But children are really connected to energy, and
Yes.
they're connected to fun. I mean, everything at 4 and is about fun and make believe. So they really bring in the magic. And I've
Mhm.
learned a lot from watching them and playing with them, because working with energy is connecting to the imagination and to the fun
Yes.
and the magic. It's connecting to
Ah,
the magic and the healing.
great advice. I love that. And it sounds like
Yeah.
you're open to working with both adults and children.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I love working with kids, and as I like to say, the adults that care and nurture them.
And their
uh,
inner children.
yeah, yeah, I know. I love inner children work, inner child work too. So,
Um,
yeah, so it's embrace the hope and dive in on your journey because there is a journey to a brighter future.
mm, that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Dana, for sharing your wisdom with us today and your journey. It's so exciting. I'm just so happy that you're part of our certified Topican healing practitioner family, and wish you all the best in your journey and helping people.
Thank you so much. And should I mention that to find me, I'm on the
That's right.
I know I'm like,
Yes,
wait,
look at the link below.
yeah,
I got
there's a
so
link
excited
below.
with piece of your advice. I forgot the part I was supposed to say, which
Oh,
is
that's okay.
okay to work with Dana. Check the link below this video to get an appointment with her. And can you tell us a little bit about what happens when they click the link and make an appointment?
Yeah, absolutely. The link is on the Find a Practitioner page for the Academy of Light Medicine. And the first step is to schedule a discovery call with me, and we'll talk for 15-20 minutes. And I'll find out what you want support with and how I can help you. What symptoms are you experiencing? And I'll do a mini assessment that might, be looking at various organs or chakras or organ systems, how balanced they are. It might be checking boundaries, assessing your subconscious willingness or resistance to healing the issue that you're experiencing, because that can, that can get in our way too. And, we'll look at the number one block that may be a big factor in what you're experiencing. And so we'll look at a bunch of different things, and then I'll discuss how options for how I can help you. And there's no pressure. I love to hear about people and where they're at and their journeys, and just talk to them about what's going on. So, yeah, I'd love to chat.
Oh, that's great. Yes, I'm very generous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so we're going to put the link below to book that discovery call with Dana if that's something that resonates with the folks that are listening to this. And now I'll say thank you, Dana, for connecting. Thanks for reminding me that I forgot a spot here. And it's all good. We're very casual here, apparently. Academy like that.
All
Dana,
good, all
you're
fun.
professional, so thank you, thank you. Yeah,
Thank
that is great. We're just, like I said, just really, really pleased and tickled pink that you're part of our, certified practitioner family now. And yeah, keep up the great work. It's awesome.
thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be here. And thank you, everyone.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks everyone for listening. And remember, we'll put the links down below this video and check it out if what you are hearing is something that resonates with you. All right, until next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.